Like I said, we streaming on Facebook and we streaming on
YouTube.
yeah, on YouTube.
So it's not recording?
Nah.
Sweet. You can switch them on. No, pictures. You switch the pictures out.
Oh, and I thought you wanted me to just have it sit for a whole minute.
Wait another good second, 10 seconds, and then start the intro.
Just click it, right?
Double. And once. Yeah, everything up there. Okay.
All right, y'all. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath. I'm Brother Jacob. To my left,
I'm Brother Joel.
And, you know, we tried to do class last night. We had a bunch of difficulty. And we wanted to get started at 4 o'clock today, but we had even more difficulties. And the reason is something that happened with the computer a couple weeks ago, and everything was reset. So we got to go through and set everything back up the way it was before. So it's a bunch of trial and error. But we have a short amount of time to get today's class out. Today's class is entitled "The Worst Culture Ever." We're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 11 like we usually do and get this thing cranked up. We're going to shorten some stuff, so we're going to try to go through this stuff real quick and give y'all as much information as you can according to what we've been researching. So afterwards, you can go back and re-look at the class and look at the stuff that we're bringing out. So Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 11.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 11. And go, get thee to them of the captivity, unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Right, so we are the descendants of the captives. We've been spread to the 4 corners of the earth. And guess what? In those places, we following what the other nations do. So that's really what we're touching on today. The worst culture ever. Let's start out with, let's go to, just like we did last night. Sirach 17 and Sirach 24. So, if the culture that we're in comes from our oppressors, and it does, that's what we're showing, then what is the culture that we're supposed to have? What are the, how does Esau put it? Customs. What are the customs that we're supposed to be keeping? Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 and verse, start at verse 10. Israel, y'all should know, Israel is the Lord's elect. Come on.
The book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17 and verse 10. And the elect shall praise his holy name. Mm-hmm. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
So he gave us knowledge and the law of life for a heritage. We're done right here. Give me Baruch real quick. Mm-hmm. Baruch 3 and might be 33. He gave us knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. How many verses? 36?
37.
Give me 36.
Okay.
I'll get there.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
Right. So that way of knowledge is God's law, statutes, and commandments. The rules that we're supposed to live by, and then what happens to you when you break those rules. That is the top knowledge on this earth.
Right.
Now, Sirach 24. And verse. Give me verse 22.
The book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse.
Hold on. Start verse 21.
The book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 21.
So this meat and this drink is kind of like in John. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood. Meaning learn of him.
which he is the embodiment of God's law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
He that obeyeth me shall never be confounded, and they that work by me shall not do amiss.
Right. Learn of the Lord, and you will not be confounded. It said the same thing, Isaiah 45:17.
Right.
World without end.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob.
So our heritage, our culture is supposed to be walking in these commandments like our forefathers did, the righteous ones. That's our culture. That's how we're supposed to be walking like the Lord. So, see, what should we start with? All right, let's go to Psalms 106. So we're going to show you first a little bit of the culture that we're supposed to be keeping before we get into what our people are doing now. Start at verse 34.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them,
Go ahead.
but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
Right. So instead of following what our forefathers were supposed to follow, they followed the heathen. So, and like the Lord said it, he didn't destroy all of those nations. He left a remnant of those nations to see if we're going to follow him or not. And you see, and it's funny because if you look at what we're going to show you right now, it wasn't this culture that we're in now. It wasn't widespread. It was only among the worst of the people.
Right.
But it spread every damn where. Now it's spread out not only the United States, it's all in this side of the world. Go ahead. Mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
Right.
But you calling it culture. Go ahead.
And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils.
That would be like our women today that are killing our children, killing our brothers and sisters, having abortions. Go ahead.
And shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a-whoring with their own inventions.
Right, so they learned from the other nations, but then went a-whoring in their own inventions. So as wicked as the other nations are, and the things that the other nations be doing, we take that and then take it to a higher level of wickedness. Right. And then going to call that culture. Right. That's our culture. And then it's not only is it from like the worst of the other nations, which the absolute worst of the other nations, make no mistake about it, we're getting into it, is crackers. And when I say crackers, I don't have the same understanding that I had a week ago.
Right, right.
Because we always say a cracker is, we call them crackers because they cracked the whip on us. No. They named themselves that in Europe. Cracker culture comes from Europe. They brought that over here. We learned it from them, and then now then we expound on it, make it worse, and then we call it black culture.
Right. It's crazy because they took the word nigger and made it derogative when it just means black. But now we understand how it became ignorant, how it became an ignorant term. Because now the niggas are the new crackers.
Oh my goodness. They one and the same.
Right.
They one and the same. You'll see the culture is side by side. Look, I remember years ago, up in Ashland, where the Walmart is in Ashland, and there's a Waffle House. Man, I could have, they were crackers, but I could have sworn they was the end, Acts 5 and 13. I mean Acts 13.
Acts 13 and 1. Right.
I mean, they were even talking like it. They was even saying Acts 13 and 1. Arguing with each other and everything. I'm like, damn, that's uncanny the way that they act.
Yep.
But you know what? We learned that from them. Go ahead. Where were you at? Yeah, their own inventions. Now, verse 40.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 40. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people.
Now, I wonder why. Because we acting like them.
Right.
So when you look in our hoods, which that culture comes from hillbillies, a.k.a. crackers, what people call white trash.
Yeah, poor white trash.
That we learned their ways on the plantations. We're going to get into that, but go ahead.
In so much that he abhorred his own inheritance.
Meaning he hated us.
Right. Just as much as he hated the other nations, because we became them. Dang.
Yep. Go ahead.
And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them.
So who hates us? Who kills us without a cause? Even though our people are wicked. The bottom line is they're allowed to do things to us because of our wickedness. But who is it? Who is it that's ruling over us that hates us, regardless of what they say?
Right.
He said, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them.
Right.
Who is that?
No one ever wants to admit that it's a black and white thing, but in this world it is a black and white thing.
Yeah, it's deeper.
Right.
It's deeper than black and white. Right. It's particular people that they really hate. You don't see them doing stuff, the things that they do to us, to the Africans. They know we different.
Exactly.
Read verse 42.
Verse 42. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand.
Right. So these same enemies that hate us and rule over us, we're given to be their subjects. Leviticus 26 and 17. If y'all, when you get a chance, read through this chapter. It's a parallel with Deuteronomy 28, but it uses the word enemies in here a lot. You only see enemies 2 or 3 times in Deuteronomy 28.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, and verse 17. And I will set my face, I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
They that hate you shall reign over you. So we've been given, we've been given into the hand of people that hate us. But now I can understand how it could happen. How the way this things went down, how it could happen. Because you getting your backs whipped, you out there, you gotta work in the heat, in the cold, serving these people. So any kind of comfort that you can get, you're gonna seek a way to get some type of comfort or some type of relief. And so I can see how our people would be like, damn, I gotta do something. Let me try to please Massa. That's a problem. That's a problem. we really don't understand, or we really didn't understand the scriptures. Verse 15. Baruch 4 and 15.
Gotcha. The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 15. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverenced old man nor pitied child. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow.
Jerusalem. We're the children of Jerusalem. The dearly beloved. Jacob have I loved. Go ahead.
And left her that was alone desolate without daughters.
We left the land. So, but he brought a nation from far, a shameless nation. Shameless, and this is where what we call culture came from. We're going to play a video shortly. And the video going to tell you. So you have the Edomites that have money. You have those that funded the slave trade. And, you know, not only the slave trade, but they funded the transfer of goods. These companies, and they had ships, and they had the triangular slave trade. So they're making money. And then you got to have plantations to grow the products. And then you have to have workers. You got to have workers on the plantations to keep the slaves in order. So who do they use to do that? They're not going to do it. The Edomites that have social decadence and stature or status, they're not going to be out there in the field. They're paying their own people that's on the bottom.
The lower end, right.
The ones that they look down to be your slave masters. They're the slave master. Even though you got the slave owner, but they're the taskmaster that the slave master has put over you. Somebody that's going to be obedient to them. And where do you think they came from? These were the poor whites.
It's crazy too, because when you look at companies, they're set up basically the same way.
Right.
You have the upper echelon white man who's, like you said, the overseer of it all. Then he set taskmasters, who they call supervisors or managers today. And then you got the regular workers on the bottom level on the floor doing all the work.
Hold on, y'all. We're gonna pull. I'm trying not to pull too many scriptures, but Exodus. Where are we at? Exodus chapter 1, verse 11.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Python and Ramesses.
But over here, we built an entire nation.
Exactly.
They financed it, but they ain't built it. They're not. No. They financed it, but they had others build it. Because when the slave trading was over, then they called in coolies. They called in workers from other nations to get cheap labor, and they were called coolies. Wow. So now, let's see.
What? The Last Dragon. That's what he called Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon. He called him a coolie.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though he was an Edomite.
Wow.
But yeah, coolies wasn't one nation of people either. It was Chinese, Indian, I think some Arabs too. And they were brought over to the Caribbeans and North America to work on those plantations and stuff. And so that's why you have, now you can't, it's hard to tell who is who over there. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So let's go, give me, I don't even be able to get into that. All right, so give me that video. Run that video. Right. Now, so that was Thomas Sowell, who's a black scholar from Harlem. And he's in his 90s now, I believe. He's like 94. But he's done all that research. So if you pay attention to what he said, you have your upper class. They're the ones that owned everything. And what they did was they hire the poor whites to do, the common labor and to be the taskmasters over us while we were in captivity. Now, while we were in chains and stuff, or couldn't leave the plantation while we were still, quote unquote, slaves. Now, we learned, looking at them, we learned their ways. They're doing all kinds of stuff. We know they raped the men, they raped the women, they taught us the Bible. You know what I'm saying? since I'm saying, give me John Smith. Give me John Smith. That's another thing. We learn so much stuff from them. Now, the what's another name for Baptists? I mean, because you have people that are Baptists, but the most prominent are what? Southern Baptists. Yep. Southern Baptists. So, when you look at a Baptist preacher, how do they preach?
Hooping and hot.
Yeah.
It's a show.
Right. I thought our people came up with that. Nope. 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 It came from Europe. So, I'm going to read this.
It makes sense, though. I mean, we learned all their ways, and it came from them.
Yeah, so they were... Now, this is another strike at Christianity, at modern Christianity, because these doctrines were formulated in the 14, 15, and 1600s while we were in captivity. When they were taking things, when they took our Bible over, right. That's when these doctrines came up. So I'm going to read this. John Smith, 1554 to 1612. He was an English Anglican Baptist Mennonite minister and a defender of the principle of religious liberty. Smith is thought to have been the son of John Smith, a yeoman of Sturton-le-Steeple in Nottinghamshire. He was educated locally at the grammar school in Gainsborough and in Christ College, Cambridge, where he became a fellow. Smith was ordained as an Anglican priest in 1594. So, now in his ministry, it says in 1607, he broke with the Church of England and left Holland, where he, Thomas Hewlwis, and a small congregation began to study the Bible ardently. To make a long story short, he dies a few years later in 1612. But he basically is the person that started the Baptist religion. And they separated themselves from other Baptists because he didn't believe in baptizing babies. Which is that's crazy as hell. You can't give an offering and you're not even responsible until you're 20 years old.
Right.
You don't give an offering to the Lord until then. So you're an adult at 20. Why would you baptize a baby, man? But anyway, this is the beginning of all these strange doctrines. So the way that we learn the Bible comes from over there too. Everything we call culture. Right. How people run around, Jesus pieces on.
Tattoos.
Yep, and the pastor up in the pulpit hooping and hollering and telling them, I want a Movado watch.
Right.
Yeah, that's the newest thing.
Right.
Or I want a car, or I want a jet. That stuff comes from them. All you got to do is look at those Baptist evangelists, like, what's the guy named? Kenneth Copeland. Mm-hmm. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
What was that video he did? Yeah. I rebuke you, COVID. Yeah. It's the same thing. And then our brothers is doing it and teaching madness. Man, get that ugly Edomite out of here, man. Now, so give me, I don't know what I called it. There's an article I put on there.
From the APA.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I titled it. I titled it Cracker Culture. Yeah, that's it. Give me that. Whew, you want to read it? So it ain't my words. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, the white man is a cracker. No, we're reading and telling, showing what we have learned.
All right, it's called Southern Culture and Homicide, examining the cracker culture, black, rednecks, theses.
Hold on, so that's black redneck thesis.
Rednecks theses, yeah.
So cracker culture / black redneck thesis.
Right.
Understand what they saying. Our people that's run up on each other, bragging and boasting like when in rap battles and stuff like that. That stuff come from them. That's their behavior.
Dang.
Go ahead, read that.
Abstract. Recent scholarship traces the roots of Southern violence to the Scots-Irish, who brought a relatively violent cracker culture with them to the United States in the 18th century.
Damn.
The tolerance for violence.
Hold on. Read it again, man. Read it again for him.
Recent scholarship traces the roots of Southern violence to the Scots-Irish, who brought a relatively violent cracker culture with them to the United States in the 18th century.
So the 18th century would be the 1700s.
Right.
Now, they bought this culture with them, but our people did not descend into the complete madness until the 1900s. Go ahead.
The tolerance for violence inherent in cracker culture was believed to be transmitted throughout the South to other whites and was maintained in part through evangelical Christian doctrine. Dang, bro. Moreover, Thomas Sowell, 2005, recently argued that some Southern blacks were also influenced by cracker culture, leading to the emergence of a black redneck phenomenon influencing homicide among blacks.
So that's where it started, because we weren't on the plantations just murdering each other over the slightest thing.
But if you remember Django, they used something slight just to make them fight each other to entertain themselves. They used, when that man won the battle with his brother, they gave him a drink and a hoe.
Damn. Go ahead. Damn.
Hold on, where did I stop? Okay. Using county level data circa 2000, this study empirically evaluates the merit of the cracker culture black redneck theses. Negative binomial regression analysis for a full sample of counties suggests that a measure of Southern cracker black redneck culture is an important factor affecting contemporary rates of argument homicide among both whites and blacks.
Damn.
When counties are divided into South and non-South sub-samples, the results are also consistent. A cracker black redneck culture effect is evident for both racial groups in the South.
Both racial groups.
Mm-hmm.
So remember I said, because see, that's why, like Christ said, a little leaven leavens the whole lump.
Right.
So over time, it's going to grow. It's grown not only across the United States, but all over North and South America.
Right.
Go ahead.
And it's also apparent outside of the southern region. We interpret these latter findings as possible support for the theses that Southern cracker black redneck culture has been transported through migration to non-Southern localities.
Right, so that's the end of that now. What he's saying is 100% right, so next, give me the map.
It's crazy because we always say that you are a product of your environment. And there it is.
But you don't have to be. That's the thing. You don't have to be. If you're following after the scriptures, you will not be a part of that.
Right.
Yeah, that map right there.
Now you can see why, if and when, say a child prodigy.
You can drop that for the moment, because we're going to talk for a second.
Say a child prodigy comes out of that environment, and he's introduced to something better. Now you can understand why he wouldn't want to go back.
Right.
Why he may not even want to contribute.
and while he may not want to be around his own people.
His own people, exactly.
Because I was the same way until I found out the truth. Then I'm like, damn, I want to be around my people so I can be an example and I can teach my people.
Light. Exactly.
Because I would not go anywhere that I knew it was going to be more than 5 black folks at one time. It's like, nah, I ain't being a daggone victim. You know?
Right.
And that's the truth. But you want to elevate yourself. You're like, look, I'm not about that. I don't behave like that. Right. And our people would glory in it. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, since we've been starting to follow these scriptures, people will look at us and be like, yeah, I can tell you ain't about that foolishness.
Right.
Like they see that on you. They straight see that on you.
Right. So you have 1865 comes along. We're starting to be freed, and then but we go through different things. You know, you got Jim Crow laws. Our people, our brothers, is getting locked up left and right. Then you got, because they getting locked up, I mean, you got single mothers on the plantations, or you know, or sharecropping, or whatever you want to call it. So now our people are trying to find ways to make a better life. So they start moving around. Then you have the Industrial Revolution. And so now they're starting to build factories and jobs. So now, we've been underneath the worst of the worst down in the South and have learned their ways. But it's not the majority of our people that's behaving like that, because you got black people that's owning businesses and doing all kinds of things, getting good jobs and doing good for themselves. But here comes the Industrial Revolution, and now our people, put the map up now. Now our people are trying to move from those plantations from the South and go and get jobs. Give me 1 second. I'm sitting here talking. I haven't pulled the map up myself. I need a better look at it. There it is. So you see on the map, yeah, look at the red. Going up north. Our people moved up north and got jobs. They went to, you'll see, okay, so like the ones you see in red right there, those people went north. A lot of them, I'm not going to say a lot, but, you know, you have those of our people that got ahead in what they call progress. But they ain't did nothing for the bulk of our people. They went north, got jobs or whatever. But then you look at the green. Now that stuff in the green, where they went to Detroit, Ohio, Wisconsin. What they do up there?
Let me see. You said Detroit. Oh man, those are like major factory areas.
Exactly. You had manufacturing cars.
Cars, exactly.
That's where they did that at.
Yeah.
And major industries. Then you got the blue. I couldn't tell you what was in Minnesota or Minneapolis. But Los Angeles, Oakland, and places like that, you also had major factories. That's why you got South Central.
Right.
You know, they kind of show that on, what was that movie? Not movie, but it was a Netflix special where the family moved in that white neighborhood. They moved to Compton. They was the first black people to move to Compton.
Oh, it's a one-word title. Oh, what is that? It's not Netflix. I think it was.
I know everybody was commenting on that jam, saying, "Man, you got to see it."
Yeah, that joint was. It was wild.
Yeah, it was crazy the way the white moved.
Yeah,
they was doing everything they could to provoke them.
Right.
But our people, they start moving around, trying to make a better life for themselves, trying to make money, thinking that that's the answer to their problems. So you can drop that map. But we went to those places. What good did it do? It didn't do no good. So what actually happened is our people moved up there with that cracker culture. We established neighborhoods and everything, but we took that cracker culture with us, and that cracker culture has grown. Mm-hmm. Now it's overtaken our society, meaning, amongst our people. That's the prevalent thing. Because you can have, I was thinking about this last night. You got good R&B music, which I really haven't even been listening to any, but there's always been somebody out that's good and is worth listening to. Maybe not the lyrics are not so good, but there's always been something that's better than whatever's mainstream. Because since gangster rap, the mainstream is the worst stuff that you could possibly listen to. The messages in it is terrible.
Right.
You know what? That brings us to something else. Give me the picture of the brother. And like that video was, no, not him. That's a coon. We'll get to him later. He's straight up a coon. Nah, he a coon too. It was a rapper dude. No, not me. We'll get to that in a second. Should say rapper. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I ain't put it up there. Okay. Well, anyway, give me the one with the flag, but don't show it yet. Pull it up. So we have. You notice that they kept calling it cracker and black redneck culture because it's damn near one and the same. We behave in the same way. Like if you go on, no, I ain't gonna say that, but you can go on YouTube and just put like redneck fails, and you, oh my goodness. And they'll be doing fails, but if you just look at how they live, and you be like, damn. But then you go to the projects and look at our people, and they live in the same way, and they've learned the same thing. Like the guy was saying, Soul was saying in the video, amongst the cracker women, promiscuity. Mm-hmm. They sleeping around. Well, what's gonna happen if you sleeping around?
Diseases.
Yep. All kinds of stuff. Babies popping up. Yep. You'll have men fighting and killing each other. All kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. The whole city will turn away. Damn. That's why the scriptures say that.
Right.
And the same thing happens in our communities. Mm-hmm. Our women sleeping around, being promiscuous, just doing. All you gotta do is look at Jerry Springer. Who you gonna see on there?
Mostly our people. Jerry,
but you're gonna see cracker culture.
Right.
That's what you're gonna see, right. And it's them and us.
Yep, the rednecks and the so-called blacks. Exactly.
Should have named this cracker culture. But it's the worst culture anyway.
Jerry been made a very rich man off of both people.
Off of people's iniquities. Mm-hmm. So, you got black rappers. Then you got dudes like Eminem. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What's the other dude's name?
Man.
Rip Van Winkle. What's his name?
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice. Yeah. Informer. Yeah, Third.
Snow.
Yes, yeah, and you had Third Base.
Yup.
The Beastie Boys.
You got Yellow Wolf out there.
But always it's side by side. But now they taking that jam to another level.
Yeah.
Show the picture, man. I was like, I'm not even going to even try to listen to what they rapping about. But now you got country rap, man.
Yep.
And look at he got his shotgun. The brothers got their AKs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or their Glocks.
It makes sense.
It's the same cracker culture. Give me the other one, the muddy one. And look at him. Put your muddy where your mouth is.
Wow.
Yo, man. We gotta do better, y'all. We gotta do better. We got to reach our people and tell them to repent.
You know what? I'm upset now because I've been thinking all this time that things we've been creating was our own and it was original, and now I'm finding out we've been the ones mocking them.
And we take it to another daggone level.
Psalms 106.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yup, I thought they were doing what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Even in our wickedness, but coming to find out, nah, we've been doing what we learned from them.
And, you know, I mean, you can come back to us. The crazy thing is, now I'm 56 years old, so I've seen some stuff. But even before my time, and right at the beginning of my time, you had we would make a song, they would make the same song.
Right.
They would make a song, we would make the same song, back and forth. I remember when I first realized that I was watching a movie and they was doing Twist and Shout.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few years later, I heard Twist and Shout. I'm like, wait a minute. That sounds like black people doing that. It was the Isley Brothers.
Wow.
Yeah, Twist and Shout, I think part 1 and 2. They did it originally. But you had a bunch of songs.
You thought you was in the Mandela.
And I don't know if you remember, you should. When the country music, when they did Bump and Grind.
Hold on, man.
No, you don't know about that.
Hold on, you gonna ruin it for me. I thought R. Kelly was.
No, R. Kelly did it first, but they did their own version.
Okay.
I don't see nothing wrong.
Yeah.
This stuff ain't our culture.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Now give me that woman. Put that woman picture up there, man. Yeah, this is just lewd and deplorable. But who do you think it came from? Where do you think that came from?
I mean, hey, like we were looking at, them, the old school hillbilly show. I might not say it. I don't know what they might do with the video if we say the full name of that show. But the niece of the old couple, she had on tight jeans, and then if you go back and look at that famous show that was in the made-up Hazard County, you had the niece on there.
You had Daisy Duke
wearing her little short shorts.
So this should, like, because a lot of y'all may not be old enough. So if the woman on the show was famous for wearing halter tops, tied up tops with real short shorts on, and her name was Daisy Duke.
Right.
When our people start wearing the shorts like that, what they call them?
Daisy Dukes.
Showing you that they learned it from them.
And made a song off of it.
Yep. It was learned from them. And who were they? They were the cracker culture back up in the woods.
Exactly.
But again, our people learned from that. They learned from that. So like he was saying, Ellie Mae Clampett.
Yeah. Yep.
That was her name on the show.
Yep.
She had on the tied up tube top or the real tight top and had on skin tight jeans. And then the tight people wearing tight jeans started in the 80s. That show was in black and white.
Right.
But you had Brooke Shields come along advertising, I forget the name of the jeans. But she's advertising the jeans, and then that's when all the women started wearing tight jeans.
Wondering, it could have been, Jordache, Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein, that's who it was.
You know what I'm saying?
Calvin Klein jeans.
I just revealed my age.
But our people, we learning everything from them.
Right.
Like even wearing pants, women wearing pants comes from them. You get her off the screen, man. Come back to us. You had Amelia Bloomer, and then there was another Edomite woman. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that came up with pants for women. We tell our women, you're not supposed to wear pants. Then they'll say, well, they make pants for women.
Right.
Women did not wear pants. No nation of women wore pants. That movement came about, I think, late 1800s, early 1900s, and then it took a long time for it really to catch, and women started wearing it. Now, when women started wearing it, that's when the women in our society, our own women, started going downhill. Mm-hmm. Until now you got Cardi B and Megan, 6 foot Megan.
Taking it to a whole nother level.
Right. Just pushing whoredom on our people.
Basically. There's no separation anymore, man.
Right. Cracker culture. Not black culture, it's cracker culture. Mm. So now, that's our people that's dealing with cracker culture in the worst parts. Give me Daniel, man. Let's go to Daniel real quick. That's just one side. We don't have long either. Damn. We gotta make this quick. So give me Daniel 1. Because you have the total opposite extreme. And Esau taking advantage on both sides. Give me... Start at verse 3.
Mm-hmm. The book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, mm-hmm. that he shall bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and of the princes.
So, of the king's seed and of the princes, so these would be your upper echelon of our people. Go ahead.
Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored.
Good looking. Go ahead.
And skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace.
So who would this be? This would be your people that our people today that get real high scores on in like book knowledge. May be able to learn several languages. Mm-hmm. Whatever they can greatly help Esau. And he's looking for him. Mm-hmm. That's why they have you doing testing. Why do you think they got you testing?
Exactly.
So that the smart ones, right. So they can see who the smart ones are, just like this. Because this ain't nothing new. Mm-hmm. You see it right here.
Somebody like Paul would fit this category.
Mm-hmm. And now this is 500 BC. So this is what? This is like 2,700 years ago. No, 2,600 years ago. They're doing it. You don't think they're doing it now? Because Esau has learned from all the nations and rolled it all into one. Go ahead.
And whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat, and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king.
So they teaching them how to be servants of the king.
Right.
Teaching them the language. They teaching them everything so that they can be good servants to the king. Mm-hmm. One more verse. Yeah. Give me verse 7. No. Verse 6, just so they see who it is.
Okay. Verse 6. Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
So this is was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yep.
That's what it is in Daniel. So they're taking the best and brightest of our people, just like they do today, and have them work for the king. Mm-hmm. Have them be. What they're doing is what's the word? Assimilate them.
Right.
assimilate them into the society so that it can benefit them. And they do that to this very day.
To this very day.
Right. Now, so give me first give me the dude with the bear. Show y'all who this is. I'll give you 3 examples. So you have the cracker culture, and then you have our people. Esau singles them out and selects them to be in their culture underneath them. Either way, it's the worst culture ever. You either following them on the bottom or you following them on the top, and both of them to your destruction. Yeah, you know who that is?
Yes, Karl Malone.
Now, what did they call Karl Malone?
The mailman.
That was his nickname on the floor. He had another nickname.
I don't even know what he has now.
The Black Redneck.
Not surprised.
Look around.
Not surprised.
Man, this dude got what's that on the back of the bear? Is it a baby? Mm-hmm. And look at all the deer. He even got birds, elk. This dude got everything, man.
You know what?
He even drove a monster truck, bro.
And he used to be a tractor trailer. He owned tractor trailer trucks.
Man, that dude.
Yeah, he probably got his own company now. Ain't no telling. But yeah, I think like in his off season, he would drive 18-wheelers.
Totally assimilated.
And not to mention that his other extracurricular activities that had him in court at one point in time.
Wow. All right.
With a young girl.
What?
Yeah.
All right, give me the yellow jacket.
Damn, that picture says a lot.
Now, you know who that is?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
What did he do, man?
This man purchased his family's slave master's property to keep the Tomlinson name going.
Damn. You got that right. And I'm telling you, I love this dude on the field. And then even off the field, he had him a beautiful wife and was raised a family. Mm-hmm. This dude made it to the Hall of Fame. He was on the what was the show? NFL Network? Yeah, NFL Network. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, man, when that dude got up there and said he wanted to bring pride to the Tomlinson name.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, this dude is a straight coon, man.
Yeah, destroyed. Mind destroyed.
Yes.
Mind is destroyed.
Epitome. And give me Deuteronomy 28. Remember, y'all, we have to make the scriptures come alive. We only got a few minutes left. Verse 48, man. Deuteronomy 28, 48. You've got to bring this stuff to life.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So it don't matter if you was on the plantation with the poor ones or if you was up north with the sedity white folks.
Right.
Trying to get status from them. It don't matter. Go ahead.
In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
You still, I don't care whether you was in the north or the south or Central or South America, you still had to go to them. Even though in like the in North and South America, even all throughout the United States, this hemisphere over here, that land did not belong to them, period. And yet they got you working on it, and then the land itself that don't belong to them, they selling it to you and selling you the resources off of it.
Right.
Make no damn sense. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And they did that to us. Go ahead.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until. So in 1865, when they took the chains off, we were destroyed. And from that point of time until now, we have continually gotten worse.
Right.
Exponentially. You know, there was a piece I forgot to bring out. Yeah, I didn't put it on here. Oh, no. Do you have the a shot of the family structure from Wiki? You know what? So this is the book I couldn't find. We're just gonna read it to y'all. You can go look this up yourself. African American family structure on Wikipedia. Just go down to there. Yeah, for this condition. So, at one point, like even the guy, Thomas Sowell, said in his documentary that when he was a kid, families were together. It was only 20% single parent homes. 20%. That means 80% of the families were together. Like this, like with the post that I made like a week and a half ago or something about who should eat first. Mm-hmm. The father. Right. Should the father be fed first or should the kids be first? That ain't even supposed to be in a damn conversation. It's stupid as hell. Right. Because you all, when daddy come home, dinner's ready, the whole family's supposed to sit down and eat together. Mm-hmm. We don't do that now. There's no closeness in the family. The nuclear family has been destroyed. Right. When, that's another point he brought out. Social welfare. When social welfare came out, oh, I don't need no man now. Bye. Bye. Right. Now we destroyed.
And then they took and got child support, threw it on top of that.
Oh, my goodness.
As a matter of fact, remember, if the woman decided to get welfare would take out child support on the man.
Yeah, and the man had to be out the house.
Right.
Separating us.
Damn.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
And then to add insult to injury, you hear the women go, I can't find a good man. Well, you ain't in the scriptures either.
Good man running away from your ass. Read that.
But you ain't in the scriptures. The only thing that's going to make a woman good and a man good is following after Christ and in the keeping of the commandments.
Right.
Go ahead.
That good man. Christ. Mm-hmm. Great day. African American family structure. The family structure of African Americans has long been a matter of national publicly policy interest. A 1965 report by Daniel Patrick Moynihan, known as the Moynihan Report, examined the link between black poverty and family structure.
Now, I got this book, but we couldn't find it. I don't know where it's at. Go ahead.
It hypothesized that the destruction of the black nuclear family...
meaning a nuclear family has a father, a mother, and children. The destruction of the nuclear family. Go ahead.
Structure would hinder further progress towards economic and political equality. When Moynihan wrote in 1965 on the coming destruction of the black family, the out-of-wedlock birth rate was 25% among black people.
That's 1965. So in 1940, it was 20. So that's 25 years, and it only went up a few percent. Go ahead.
In 1991, 68% of black children were born outside of marriage.
So from 25% to 68%, that's almost 70.
Right.
So let's say 70.
And that was just in less than 30 years.
That's 45 years. 45 years, it went up. No, I mean 45%.
Right.
45%. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. In 2011. Wow. In 2011, 72% of black babies were born to unmarried mothers.
72%.
Damn, that's 2011, man.
Yeah, 2000. It's progressively getting worse. And then you look at the music.
Right. It's promoting.
Look at the music.
I'm gonna make her my wife for a night.
Right.
Damn.
Ain't nothing about, baby, I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Right.
Baby, you my soulmate.
And then, you know, you got things, you got orgies, you got Minaj, then you got a woman who names herself Nicki Minaj.
You got women that's talking about what they can do with it.
Right.
Instead of
They got that.
how can we build a family?
Right. They got that WAP.
Right.
Right. Damn.
Oh my goodness, we gotta wrap it up. Okay. So this article, eventually I'm gonna find a book and we're gonna revisit some of this stuff again. Let me get this off of here.
Yeah, we gotta revisit this stuff, man.
It's a lot, man. And this ain't the life. Oh yeah, give me that last coon. There's no way we can sign off without mentioning this coon. So, when you talking about both ends of the spectrum, so you got the cracker culture, then you got our people that's trying to get somewhere, then you got the straight up bougie Negroes that don't give a damn about their people. Completely destroyed. Standing between two Edomites.
No, I want to say it out here. We got Carl, Dania.
Dania. Yeah.
She need to put some clothes on. Billy and his cousin Teddy.
What's some other ones?
Down. Migration. Cracker culture. John Smith. Pedophile looking self. Sister, she mad. I don't know why.
Okay.
Jay-Z right there.
So that number one, click on that number one, just hold it. We're going to close it out with that right there. But I didn't get a chance to put the picture up, but I was going to put up a picture of Herschel Walker. Yeah, Herschel Walker. So somebody like him, because of his physical build, and he's smart as hell. And he got a free ride in college, and then he right up underneath the white man. Now he pushing politics. Politics is not going to help us. Following after the Lord, doing what he said to do is going to help us. Because how politics going to help you and this government is going to be destroyed? All governments going to be destroyed, and we're going to be up underneath Christ. What the hell is democracy going to do for you? Let me tell you something. Christians be talking about, being a Christian, I couldn't find myself to be a Republican. What the hell does that have to do with the Lord? What does politics and government have anything to do with the Lord? They always talking about, you got Putin is a dictator. Saddam is a dictator. What the hell you think Christ's going to do?
Right.
What is he going to be?
Right.
You think it's going to be a damn democracy?
A righteous dictator.
Keep on being bougie. Ain't going to be no dictatorship. Ain't going to be no democracy. It's going to be a dictatorship. The Lord set up everything in the order that he wants it to be in. And when you look at everything in the older times, there were kings. And what the king said, go. The king is supreme. You speak against the king, you do something against the king, you dead. You go to see the king without permission, you dead. And they talking about, this is a dictatorship, he got to be done away with.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 13. (13 and 13). We gotta get up off here. Our brother's gonna be coming on real soon. So
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 13.
Read.
And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity.
The greatest of these is charity. Charity is loving your brother at the highest possible level. It's another thing. Look, we're learning. We're coming out of this cracker and bougie culture. We have to learn when you repent, everything is not okay. Because like Christ said, there's going to be offenses. What are you going to do about it? We're going to do things and offend each other, but what are you going to do about it? How that charity? Damn. All right, I'm Brother Jacob.
And I'm Brother Joab.
We're Congregation of Saints. We hope you learned something from this class. With that, y'all, we say shalom, happy Sabbath. Yeah, let that sit there. Yeah, let's sit there for about 10 more seconds and then end it. What's the computer percentage?
29%.
Sweet, see?
But you know what, though?